Well, as you know, we just got the news about the interest rate hikes. So I got to ask that right off the top. What do you think? It was 100 basis points, so rather on the large side. What do you think's happening there?
Well, I think it's a little bit higher than people anticipated, but it's not killer either way. Everyone knows interest rates are going up. Um, Whether that's the right solution or wrong solution will only time will tell. But it was larger than expected, but it's had minimal effect on the dollar's a little bit stronger as high velocity money will go where the highest short-term rate is. But there weren't dramatic changes in markets as a direct result of it. Some change, yes, but not, oh my gosh, this is a horrendous kind of thing. We all know rates are going up. The $64 question, of course, is, are they going up too late? Very often inflation is already tapering off when governments decide to act. And that's true of so many measures. For example, the inflation numbers, the underpinnings seem to be easing already.
Right.
Housing prices in Toronto seem to be easing already. So they tend to be retroactive. They tend to be after the events have already started to self-correct.
So do you think that this is the right strategy by the central bank?
I guess in a phrase, I don't think it really matters that much. You're increasing interest rates off of a very, very low base, which, by the way, was part of the cause of this inflationary pressure. Easy money to buy houses and to buy condos and to buy anything else you want for literally zero interest. And then printing money, again, rightly or wrongly, during COVID to help people out. So what do you think is going to happen when you start making money cheap and just flooding the system with money? The money will drive up the stock of goods and services in terms of price. So this is government inspired.
So generally, I should have maybe asked this right off the top, but are you feeling good or concerned about Canada's current economic trajectory?
I think the trajectory, in my mind, it relates to other things, not just monetary policy. I think we have to recognize that world trade is being reordered very, very quickly. People are what they call, I think the phrase is onshoring now, shrinking their supply chains because everybody's worried about Taiwan and food out of the Ukraine, et cetera. So everybody's trying to become more independent. So the trading lines are being altered dramatically. Canada has really not had an effective trade policy or indeed a trade voice. And I think we will suffer for that. And that's government that are effectively absentee landlords.
I mean, you raise a good point, and of course, there's been a lot of changes within the Asia Pacific part of the world, where President Biden has created new institutions, new fora to discuss supply chains, but Canada doesn't seem to be included in those discussions. Is that a concern for you?
It is a concern because we are no longer a factor or even considered in virtually any international forum. We are included in everything from G7 onward for historic reasons, not for our current contribution. Canada has a wonderful potential to help the world as a moderate mid-power nation. Brian Mulroney had influence and say. Even Trudeau Sr. had influence and say. We are not seen as that anymore. We just do not have the team required to do it. I was watching, one of these the old National Film Board movies the other day about the United Nations, and had Lester Pearson and had Louis Saint Laurent, and where we had a say in the world. We were involved in the world post World War II. And I look at the caliber of those people, and many people since, by the way,
Right,
and compare it to today, and it's quite understandable. We are not listened to, considered. We're not really a contributor in terms of the dialogue or in terms of defense. So many issues. We're just not there. We're really on the sidelines making smart aleck sophomoric comments. That's really what we're there for, and we're going to pay a price for that.
Tom Caldwell is our guest today. We will return to him and some of the other issues facing our economy and country after this break. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.